Hi everyone, I'm your fellow servant, Michael. I have something I want to share with you guys out there. It's very, very important. I just want to share something that I would call life experience, something that I've literally experienced. And I'm talking about life. When you talk about life, that means you are talking about you, me. I know most of you have no time talking about your life, my life. It's important to understand life in different perspectives. I know life is just a blessing. It's such a blessing that no one will ever understand. Yeah, no one will ever understand what life really means to you unless it is taken away from you and me. When I look at Genesis chapter 2:7, God created man from the ground, from the dust of the ground, literally. And he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So there is a difference between those who believe in soul immortality. Me, I know that there is no soul immortality. That's what I know. Because according to the context of the Bible, when you read Genesis chapter 2:7, man was created out of the dust of the ground. And God breathed the breath of life into his nostrils. And man became a living soul. When you say a living soul, that means a living being. So the combination of the two things, dust plus the breath of life, that's what has made you and me who we are. We are a living soul, nothing more. There was no third part. There were only two things, the dust plus the breath of life. Dust plus the breath of life is equal to a living soul. And the question is, how did God form man out of the dust? How did he do it? Did he just do it like, you just have to take the mud clay, then you make something, just like what the kids does? Was that how it was done? Let's look into this perspective. Listen, when you read Job, in the book of Job, there is something amazing, something that has amazed me. Let's read Job chapter 10, verse 8. This is what the Bible has to say about the process, how you and me were created out of the dust of the ground. This is the whole process. It's very amazing. That's why sometimes when I think about life, I take it very seriously because we are very much precious in the sight of God. This is what the Lord does. This is how He did it. Let's look at Job chapter 10, verse 8 up to verse 12. This is what God did. Let me read. I'm reading on my MacBook. Yes. So let me just read what I'm seeing on my screen. Listen to what the Bible has to say. Thine hands have made me, and fashioned me together round about. Yet thou dost destroy me. Remember, I beseech thee, that thou hast made me as the clay. Ibukisheni. Remember, remember that, remember, I beseech thee, that thou hast made me as the clay. And wilt thou bring me into the dust again? Remember that you made me out of clay. Now the other question is, are you going to return me again to the dust? Verse 10. Hast thou not poured me out as milk, and cradled me like cheese? Listen, the third part. 11. Thou hast clothed me with skin. 1. And flesh. 2. And hast fenced me with bones and sinew. 4 parts. You clothed me with skin, and then flesh, and then sinew, and then bones. This is how we were created. Verse 12. Thou hast granted me life and favor, and thou visitest, and thy visitation hath preserved my spirit. Verse 12. Thou hast granted me life and favor, and thy visitation hath preserved my spirit. So this is how we were created. We were not created just like what the kids normally does when they are playing with, clay, things like that. It's not like that. The first part was the bones. He had to create the bones. He took the bones deep down the earth, where you find stones that are very much hard. That's why he took the bones. That's why you may find that a person may die, but if there is something that may took years, I mean years, it may take about 1,000 years to decompose. It's the bones. They are so strong in such a way that it took, it can take so many years for bones to decompose. But your flesh, it will decompose just in a few months, everything. But when you talk about the bones, it's something else. Then after he had done that, then he had to create the sinews, the veins, the tubes where your blood flows, the sinews. Then fresh, where there is your heart, your muscles, your intestines, all that. Then he cover the flesh with the skin, 4 parts. I even know that even Satan knows that these are the major parts that are so dangerous to tamper with. You talk about the bones, the sinews, meaning the nerves. Then you talk about the flesh. When you talk about the skin, indeed. Again, Satan knew that. He always knows that the best way to attack a person is just to tamper with these 4 parts: the bones, the sinews, the flesh, and the skin. Let me just prove this to you out there. Listen to what the Bible says. Job chapter 2. Let me just read uh, verse 4. Here's what the Bible says. I'm just reading on my screen, on my MacBook. Yes. And Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin. Yeah. All that a man hath will he give for his life. Skin for skin. So when you tamper with the skin of someone, a man will give up anything just to save his life. Now listen to the second part. But put forth thine hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. Wow, that's very fascinating. Skin for skin. Yeah, all that a man hath will he give for his life. So these 4 major parts, the skin, the flesh, the sinew, the bones, are the best targets for Satan. You know, that's why when you go back to the time of dark ages, law, persecution, they were going for these 4 parts. Your skin, if you resist, they will take it into your flesh. If you resist, they will take it into your veins, your sinew. If you resist, then they will go deep into your bones. If there is something that is very painful when you break them, it's the bones. So Satan also knows that the 4 parts, the 4 full parts, they are the ones that are composed you and me. This is how God created us, using the 4 major parts: the bones, the sinew, the flesh, and the skin. You and I, we are very much precious. But it is also very dangerous to the devil, because he knows that these 4 parts are vital, that can make somebody crack, somebody to give up his faith. So when you talk about torture, persecution, these are the parts that Satan normally attacks. And when you want to understand the nature of man, this is the basic principle of understanding the simple nature of man